All right, g'day, hi, and welcome. All right, quick little video here for you. Got a question from a subscriber. He knows who he is. He knows what he did. He knows what he did. Anyway, he asked me a good question about humidity in the guitars and how I'm treating my guitars. Well, I don't really have climate control in this room. Like, there's no thermostat. There's no whatever. What I do is the heat source of my room here is basically right down here. So I keep my guitars way over there. This time of year, we're in March in Canada. So when you're in March and you're in Canada, there's pretty much you're at the mercy of the humidity. If you set up your guitars in the wintertime when it's the most driest, it usually is the best, but it seems like it doesn't matter what kind of guitar it is, whether it's electric, acoustic, or whatever, the humidity will affect it. Question is how much? My 12 string last year, my tack there, it basically, the action went really high on it. There was nothing I could do about it. I lowered down the bridge. It never came back down. That was a B-stock guitar, and I'm going to make a video about never buying B-stock guitars again. This Ibanez I've had since 2005. Thing's a tank. You could probably throw it in the water. You could probably put this at the depth of the ocean, bring it back up, and it'd probably still be in tune and still play. The humidity doesn't seem to bug this guitar as much, but it is completely polyethylene finished, which means it's a little less sensitive. The natural finished acoustics, good luck. My violins, they're natural, like a very light varnish on them. You can hear them, you'll be in the house, you'll hear, bing, they'll just detune on you. There's really not much you can do unless you can get a climate-controlled room where you can control the temperature at a consistent temperature the entire year. But it still gets you when you remove your guitars from a room, gigging. Hence why, if you want to ruin a guitar, play live with lots, and trust me, it'll beat it up. But guitars are funny, even on a gig. It seems like the trick, it's not really much of a trick, but and this is kind of a good excuse to play your guitar. The thing that I find works is when I pick up the guitar, I usually give it the low. I've just been playing pretty hard there. It's not too bad out. But that's the chord that tells you whether your intonation's in or out. Pick a guitar, any guitar. There is no guitar on the planet, probably without the exception of having an ever-tuned bridge on it, that could seem to do the high F major chord without it going out a bit. It's just because you're right near the nut, you got the thinnest strings in. It's all about how your finger pressure is. Heavier string gauges tend to help a little bit, but like if you got nines, like for the first like half hour that you're playing the guitar, that chord will just never go in tune. And when that chord's out, all that stuff is out. But you pick up the guitar, it's a humid day, whatever, and you play it, which loosens the strings, so and whatever. You tune it again, many times, and all of a sudden it seems like it stays in tune once it's kind of adjusted to the strings moving around. Because you got to understand, it's not just the wood, the steel too. It, when it's cold, it shrinks. When it's warm, it expands, right? And when it really shrinks, in the wintertime, and then the humidity hits it, it just kind of throws your guitar all over the place. So some guitars are worse than others. Other than like anything with a nitrocellulose lacquer, like the Gibsons, even the electric Gibsons, the room temperature bugs them a little bit, not too bad, but like the acoustics, almost doesn't matter what you have on them. This one is just a good one. I wish the electronics were still good in it. It's not the best sounding acoustic, but man, it's rock solid. I mean, well, I'll give you an idea. I'll grab my heavy pick here. Can your acoustic do this? My slopping playing notwithstanding, but if you're not, you don't hear buzzing, right? Action is like pretty low. My bridge, I've only adjusted the bridge once since 2005, and it's still low enough that I can do all that crazy stuff up here. But trick is just play it as much as you can, loosen up the strings, get it used to I think it's more of an issue of the strings keeping your guitar out of tune. The intonation is the wood, because that's stuff moving around. But sometimes the intonation might be bad. When you first play it, it's like, oh man, that chord, the C chord, the F chord just doesn't go in. And then you play it for like a half an hour and it's fine. It's fine, right? So the strings help out. The wood, if it's out a lot, it'll be out. It'll always be out a bit, especially on because you don't have a lot of adjustment on an acoustic. On the electrics, you get a little bit more. And if you have to really make an adjustment, but if you're one of those people that think you're going to adjust the guitar every time it goes out, you'll be adjusting the guitar all the time. So you got to just kind of live with it too a bit. And hopefully that'll, like there's no real solution other than having a completely climate controlled room. You can get, see if I got it here, just to show you, and I'll wrap up the video. It's somewhere in here. I bought it for my violins, but you can get them in acoustics too, or any instrument. Anyway, I'd have to find it, wherever it is. It's basically, it looks like a noodle that you throw in your guitar and it sucks up the humidity. Mind you, that's a bit of a double-edged sword because the last thing I would say about it is that if your guitar gets too dry, you'll get cracks. So anyway, I'm going to leave it at about that. And oh wow, this video is longer. Oh no, it's not too bad. Okay, so yeah, that's basically, I just leave my guitars, get through the spring phase and then see how they are. And if they have to do an adjustment in the summer, I'll do adjustments on them. But most of the time, it's just kind of like, just live with it and just play it. Like this one was a little unintonated this morning when I picked it up. And then after about half an hour playing it was fine. I didn't play the rest of them today. I try to play each guitar as much as possible. But yeah, that's pretty much all I got for it. That's my method, is just play it and retune it and then see how far out it is and see if you can adjust with your fingers. And then if it's really, really out, then you got to do an adjustment. But a lot of times you don't, especially up here in Canada, like right now we're in the pluses. It's like +1, +2, and it's snowing and really damp out there. So it's really wreaking havoc on the guitars today, but not too bad. But that's my answer for that, and it'll be the same for the ukulele, same for the violins. Violins again, you can go get for the acoustics. You can go get. I wish I could show you it because I just don't know where I put it. Oh, it's right here. One of these things. It's I've never even opened it. I've had it for probably about a decade. Cello humidifier, but you can throw these in an acoustic. You can get them for guitars, acoustic, whatever, and they're sized more appropriately. So you could probably throw that in your guitar. And what it does is it becomes like a wick, and it just kind of tells you what your humidity level's at, and that helps a bit. It's not a full solution, but if you're in a really humid area, it might help you. So again, they're called. If you want to search them online, Paganini. Well, its brand is Paganini. Qualified musician products. Cello humidifier. Protect your valuable instruments. Help preserve cracking and warping. Trophy Music Company. Cleveland, Ohio is where these are made. So I bought that for my violin, but it's a little bit big for the violin. I thought I could fit the cello one in there, but yeah, it is what it is. So it'll suck up the moisture, and why it cracks is not because there's moisture in it. It's when the moisture gets a lot in it and then the moisture goes away. That's where you get your cracks. That's like people who leave their acoustic guitars like in the garage and stuff like that, and they come out and then there's like spider webbing through all the finish. That's basically the guitar expanded, and then when it dried out, it shrunk smaller than the finish, which leaves you with a cracked finish. Yeah, so that's why I leave my guitars in the house all the time. There's no reason to have your guitars out in the garage. If you want to wreck your guitars, leave them in the garage. Again, unless you have complete climate control, but just opening and closing the door of your garage, like even the electrics, it would destroy them too. All right, there you go. Hopefully that helped.